Okay, so today we're diving into a really interesting spiritual practice based on a teaching from Islamic teacher official. It's all about increasing what's known as rizq, and that's more than just money. It's about sustenance, prosperity, all of life's blessings. And get this, it suggests the key to unlocking it all might just be sitting in your kitchen right now.
You know, the source kicks things off with a question that I think a lot of us have asked ourselves at some point. You work hard, you're doing everything you're supposed to, but for some reason prosperity just feels out of reach. Money seems to disappear as fast as it comes in, and maybe your home life is full of stress and arguments. So what's really going on?
Well, according to this teaching, the answer isn't about what you're doing during the day. It's about what's happening when you're not even conscious. The idea here is that the real root of the problem is a kind of negative energy, these unseen influences that are at their most powerful when you are at your most vulnerable. Yep, while you're asleep.
All right, so let's dig into this idea. The core problem as the source defines it, this unseen obstacle that shows up in the quiet of the night.
Think about it. In the middle of the night, when the world is silent, your guard is down. The speaker explains that this is exactly the time when your mind and spirit are in a sort of weakened state, and that creates a window of opportunity for negative forces, for doubts, and even for spiritual attacks to take hold. And then, they show up as real-world problems the very next day.
Okay, now this is where things get really fascinating. The whole solution here hinges on a concept called water memory. It's this idea that water isn't just, well, water. It can actually absorb and hold on to the energy and the intention of prayers. It can be transformed into a spiritual tool.
And that principle, that whole idea, is the foundation for the very first practice we're going to look at. A powerful ritual that's designed to create a spiritual shield for you and for your home, using nothing more than a glass of water. So here's how it works at night. The steps are pretty straightforward. You start by purifying yourself with ablution. Then, you take a glass of water, place it near your head, and you recite the sacred words, Ya Rabbana, which means, O our Lord, 30 times over it. The source claims that as you sleep, this blessed water acts like a magnet, literally drawing out and absorbing all that negative energy from your mind. Okay, so that's what you do at night. Then, when you wake up, the ritual continues. First, you drink a little bit of that water. This is said to cleanse you from the inside out, getting rid of anxiety, fear, any of that negativity. Then you take what's left and sprinkle it in the four corners of your home. Why the corners? Well, they're believed to be where negative energy tends to gather. So this act basically purifies your entire living space.
But wait, there's more. The water isn't the only tool in your spiritual toolkit here. The source introduces a second practice, kind of like adding another layer of protection, and it uses common spices that you probably have in your kitchen right now.
So you get to choose your aromatic guardian, either clove or cardamom. The thinking here is that the powerful, natural fragrance of these spices is just really disliked by negative or satanic entities. It basically acts as a natural repellent.
And again, the process here is just so simple. You make a little pouch with a few cloves or cardamom pods, you recite Ya Rabbana over it, just like with the water, and you stick it under your pillow. Overnight, it's your spiritual guard. But in the morning, you don't throw it away. You actually consume the spice, maybe in your tea or food, and that integrates its protective qualities right into your body.
And I love the metaphor the speaker uses to describe how powerful this second ritual is. They say that if you have some kind of blockage in your destiny, whether it's with money, marriage, anything, this practice cuts right through it, just as easily as a pair of scissors slices through cloth.
Okay, so we've talked about water and spices, but what's the real power source behind all of this? What makes it actually work? Well, it's not the items themselves. It's the spiritual engine driving them, the prayer.
The source makes it really clear. These aren't just random words you're reciting. Ya Rabbana has some serious history and weight behind it. They're said to be the very words Adam used after the fall from paradise. It's the ultimate expression of humility, of saying you're sorry, of completely surrendering to a higher power. It's basically you admitting you're tired, and you're now relying only on divine help.
So, when you put these two simple things together, the water and the spice, and you power them with this incredible prayer, well, the claimed benefits are, honestly, pretty life-changing. We're talking about an end to nightmares, an end to family fights, and the beginning of prosperity, respect, and deep, peaceful sleep.
Now, to show this isn't just theory, the source shares a couple of stories from people who actually tried this and reportedly saw some incredible results.
First up, there's a guy named Ahmed. He was really going through it. Financial problems, constant arguments at home. He did these rituals for just 21 days, and he reported a total 180. He said his life changed, that there was finally peace in his home and prosperity in his business.
And then there's Fatima's story. For 5 years, she couldn't find a marriage partner, so she started the rituals. After 40 days, she had this dream of clear water, which is seen as a really positive sign. And just 2 months after that, her marriage was arranged with a good family.
But, and you really have to hear this because it's maybe the most important part of the whole teaching, none of this works without one key ingredient. It's more important than the water, more important than the spice. It's something called yaqeen, which means an unwavering, absolute 100% faith that God will answer your prayer. The source is clear. Without that certainty, the rituals are basically powerless.
So when you step back and look at it, this teaching presents a really fascinating belief system. The key takeaway is this idea that simple, everyday items, like water and spice, when you combine them with focused intention and that unwavering faith we just talked about, they're believed to become these profound tools for spiritual change. They can reshape a person's life. And that kind of leaves us with one last big question to think about. If a simple glass of water can change a destiny, what is the true power of faith?